Now again there'll be a debate. Some on the left will say, well, Lula is not enough left for me. I want something more left. Or in Chile, where there's a constitutional election, people are saying the constitution is not left enough for me. Well, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe Lula is not left enough for you. But what's the left project that you want to build together? Well, we have an example right in front of us. Colombia, for instance, is one of the most violent countries against the left. The Colombian state has been used for decades, if not for 100 years, to smash the left. It's never had a left or center-left government, not even a liberal government as such, always a government of the right. And in 2019, and then just last year, cycles of protests have broken out in Colombia against neoliberal policies. What's interesting is, in these cycles of protests, the left has come together. From social movement organizations, Congreso de Pueblos, from those to the Communist Party, to Comuna, which is the political project of FARC, to the political project of Gustavo Petro and others. They all came together on the streets. They created unified action, despite the fact that they have grave disagreements about how they understand the way forward in Colombia. Nonetheless, they united. They somehow were able to transcend fragmentation. The movements were able to unite to elect him on a platform, and they changed the balance of forces since the cycle of protests in 2019. That Gustavo Petro picked Francia Marquez as his vice presidential choice is a significant message. Not only is she an Afro-Colombian woman, she is one of the leaders of the social struggles in Colombia. So you unite the political and social on the ticket, and that they won the election is considerable. The left is not there to win elections alone. The left is there to change the balance of power in society. Right now, in most parts of the world, including in the Americas, the possibility that's ahead of us is for a center-left social democratic agenda. There has to be a real conversation in Brazil about redistributing wealth, redistributing land, agrarian reform, and so on. These things are on the agenda. The question of racial justice, the question of women's liberation, these things are on the agenda. What's not on the agenda, and this is not because of Lula's political horizon, not because of who is chosen as the vice president, not because of the alliances you need to make because the Brazilian political legislative situation is such and so on. Not because of all that. The reason is because the balance or the correlation of forces in a country like Brazil today don't favor a socialist agenda. We have to change the correlation of forces. That means the left in a country like Brazil has to unite, has to believe in itself, has to fight to build the trenches of struggle, has to, in a sense, revitalize the trade union movement and change the balance of forces. The election of Lula will put Lula on a road. The left has to pave the road. The goal is to deliver power to the masses of people. If you want that, you have to give confidence to people to act in the world. How are they going to get confidence if the left is fighting amongst each other all the time, attacking each other? I'm talking about left unity in struggles. Build trust among each other. Get involved in local level struggles, in national level struggles, regional level struggles. Part of breaking the fragmentation of the left is doing practical things together, building community centers in poor areas, going out and teaching young people different kinds of skills, musical skills, skills of writing poetry, writing rap lyrics and things. Capitalism erodes the collective life because of how difficult it is to travel to your workplace. You're on a bus for so many hours and so on. You come back home, you're tired, you have to take care of your children, you have to cook, you just want to put on the TV or look at your phone, and disappear. And in the absence of the ability to create a collective life, people take refuge. I'll give you an example. I've been to many poor areas in the world, many poor areas. A young person says, hey, listen, I'm interested in playing the guitar. I want to learn how to play the guitar. There's no government music school where you can go and learn the guitar. There's no left-wing club where you can go and learn the guitar. No, you go to the evangelical church, because in the evangelical church, they'll teach you to play the guitar. Why should a young person pay a high price for learning to play a guitar? What's the high price? The high price is you have to absorb ideas against LGBTQ people. I'm not saying that all religious organizations are like that, but a lot are. We on the left have to rescue the collective life. We have to come up with mechanisms, places for people to gather. In poor parts of our world today, these religious institutions substitute for community centers. That to me is a big problem. Whether you have Bolsonaro in the presidency in Brazil, or you have President Lula return to the presidency, whoever is going to be in the government in Brasilia has to recognize the role of Brazil in Latin America and the role of Brazil in the world. Lula is very interested in the role of Brazil in the world. This is something that Bolsonaro, being a kind of right-wing, hardcore nationalist subordinate to the United States, Bolsonaro didn't have that conception for Brazil. Lula is a different kind of politician. Lula is a politician who says Brazil needs to have a role in the world in order also, therefore, to create social justice inside Brazil.